and welcome to the first video of Us&Cake.
We're creating this channel for people like us who want to learn more about baking and techniques to perfect the art.
Each video we're going to pick something new to learn and tell you what works, what didn't work for us, and hopefully throughout this we will learn the art of baking.
So this week we're going to be making something that's in your houses. It's real, it's fake, they're find them outside, and now we're making them edible. We're going to be making succulent cupcakes.
So what you'll need is whatever kind of cupcake you want. We made chocolate and matcha green tea, trying something new. And for the sand/soil look, we're doing crushed graham crackers, which I used in a blender, and Oreos, which I did not use. I put them in a bag and just kind of crumbled them because we wanted some texture for soil.
And then the colors that you'll need for your different dyes are black, aster mauve, sky blue, moss green, leaf green, and juniper green. Now the two that we mixed together were sky blue and moss green. And you will also need quite a few different tips. We'll need a 1, a 6, a 16, a 59, or 59S is what we're using, an 81, 199, 224, 352, and 363. You'll also need 2 nail
flower nails, which we got all of them in this master tip set. Everything came in this one.
And then we'll also be using, since we're using a buttercream frosting, the white that you see on a certain succulent that we're going to be making, we want it to be a very brilliant white. So we're using white icing color. Then you'll also need to cut up some wax paper, and because you'll put it on top of the flower nail, and then you'll be able to transport your succulents that you've made easier. So we're going to start off with the easiest succulent. It's more cactus. For this one, we're going to be using a tip 199 and with a juniper green and the black. The next tip is a 224 with aster mauve, and then the next is the brilliant white with tip number 1.
So the first thing you're going to do is put a little bit of frosting on your rose nail.
And then take your wax paper
and stick it on. For this one, you're just going to straight up and down, press it, and you're going to make it as big as you want. We'll go a little bit small on this one, and lift up. And when you're lifting up, don't you release your pressure. Next, you take your mauve and you press it down a little on your cactus, twist, and release. So you have this little flower. Then you take your one tip with the brilliant white, and you'll see little rivets on your cactus, and you just want to put little tiny dots all over so that it looks like little cactus needles. You just put out wherever you think looks good, and that is your first succulent. So for this next succulent, it is also very easy. It's another kind of cactus. You're going to be using your juniper, moss, and leaf green frosting with the tip 363. And this is good for like fillers, and you can add them to any of them.
This one is also pretty simple. So you'll just do the same technique, of course, with put a little bit, and then take your wax paper, set it down, and then you just the same little bit of pressure, and you can make them as big as little as you want, and then release. I'm going to make 3 easy on this one since they're pretty small. And then of course, probably don't want them to touch just so that they're easier to get off. And then, so for our next succulent, we're going to be using tip 352 with the sky blue and moss green color.
So you do the same thing, dab a little bit of frosting, put on your wax paper. With this one, you want it to have the opening sideways, kind of like an open mouth. And you press, and when you go to release, you quit pressing. And you do a bottom just all around. Now, when you get done, you're gonna wanna kind of off-center them, and you change your angle just a little bit so you don't knock any of the frosting, and you just keep going around. And once you get to where you really can't put a circle of leaves in, you just do one at the top.
Going straight down forward.
And you have your other little succulents.
So the next one is moss green, and we're going to be using a tip number 16. It's going to look very similar to the one that we just made, but a little bit different.
Right. So this one, the other one you were supposed to release the pressure as you pulled away. This one you keep it until you like the length of it. Keep pressure the whole time. And you just go around and make these spikes. And you offset each one. And when you get to the top, you just put one straight up. You have another succulent. For the next one, it's also another filler, is you use the moss green with a number 6 tip, and you add a little.
And so for this one, you're just basically going to make as many in a row or in a bunch that you like. We like the way that 3 look together, so you just do the same, push, release.
And you want to release, like, pull back
Push.
fast.
Release, and then push, release. And so it just makes little filler ones that you can put around, very similar to those ones.
Yeah. So for the last succulent, we are going to have to fill one side of this with pink, like put a stripe, and then the rest with the green, so that when you pipe it, it has a little different of a hue, pink hue to it. So you're not going to use a lot of pink, but we're going to take this, and this is the tip 352, and on one side of the mouth part, you want to just kind of streak it slightly. Then we put in the juniper and moss green. And you just pop it in. So once you have it in, you can squeeze it out until you see the hint of pink in it. So now that you have both colors coming out, do the same thing. Thank you. And then just pipe it out.
This is the same tip that we used before, so it's going to be the same technique, it's just different colors.
And you can flip it so that the pinks don't touch, or the pink's on bottom.
So that way it gives a little bit more definition.
And just another succulent. So when all of your succulents are made and in the freezer, and you probably put them in there for about 15 to 20 minutes so that they harden, during that time you can take your cupcakes, and we're gonna frost the top and then pour out a little bit of your different types of soil onto plates. This will be for the chocolate, and this is going to be for the matcha green tea. You're just gonna wanna put a very thin layer of frosting, and this is when you can use your spatula or a knife, does not matter.
You'll just take a little bit, start it in the middle, and then work it out to the ends. You really don't need much, it's just to get the fake soil to sit. And then you take it, and then you just kind of dunk it in.
You can press it a little hard, it's not gonna hurt it.
And then it looks like soil, or sand for these ones.
Give me a chocolate one. Same thing with the chocolate. Just work your way out. I might just put a little much on.
If you do put a little bunch on, you can just scrape it off and then go back and scrape it off the cupcake.
Same thing, stick it in there. Get it good. Now this one you can see a little bit of the white, but we're gonna be putting succulents on there and we'll just be aware of that.
So now once all your succulents are done, when you take them out of the freezer, they'll be kind of hard to touch. And then that's when you know that they're ready. They'll just pop right off. So you'll just take your cupcake and decide which succulent you want on it. And then when you put it on, you're gonna use just a regular old frosting. So you'll see like it just comes right off. You'll put a little bit of frosting on the bottom. And then kind of maybe just dunk it. And then you have your succulent.
Add some of these green ones. Just pop it off. Add a little. And you have to be very, very gentle with these because they are, you know, they cut your body heat and your hands will start to melt them.
So you want to work quickly but efficiently.
I like this 3 one. I think with this one, I'm gonna put some down where I'm gonna put it.
So instead of doing it on the back of it, we're putting it on the cupcake itself and then just plopping it down, since this one is a little bit bigger.
Yeah. And there is your succulent cupcake. And you can add more, add less, it's up to you.
The graham cracker ones will look a lot different. We can do one of those as well, so you can just kind of see the color contrast and why we did the 2 different types of cupcakes. So for this one, we'll do maybe the lighter green, and then we'll pipe some on the cupcake, pop it off, and pop it on.
Yeah. Then we might even be able to add one of these little ones.
Yeah.
Like this. Right here.
And this is why it's good to make all different sizes and different shapes, because of course, you know, none of them look the same in nature. So you just want to go with your gut and what looks good to you. All right, so there are our succulent cupcakes. We will post all the finished results on our Instagram, and you can follow us at Us&Cake. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like button below, and let us know what you want to see in the future.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you.